Yo, what's good, everybody? Joey J. Ping checking in live, man. RespectMyRegion.com back with another episode of the Flavor Forward podcast powered by the Flavor Company. You guys, we've got a really great episode today. I'm excited to have this guest. We've got Angela Brown here, co-founder of Coast Cannabis in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and as of today, Connecticut. We're going to have some questions today for you. We're going to learn about the story, the products, the state you're in. We're going to get creative at the end. Angela, how you doing? Good morning, afternoon.
Good afternoon for us on the East Coast. Thank you for having me. Very excited to, I guess, be kind of ending my week with you. It's about quitting time almost here on the East Coast.
I love it, man. I appreciate you guys making time for us. I'm a big fan of your guys' products. The gummies, the chocolates. I haven't had the vapes. I was super excited to hear about that. We've got a lot to break down and unpack today, but first we've got to show love to our wonderful sponsor, the homies over at the Flavor Company. Let me go ahead and get to their wonderful sponsor statement here today, folks. This episode is brought to you guys by the Flavor Company, a leading expert in creating cannabis-infused edibles and beverages. Whether it's custom formulations, flavor matching, ingredient sourcing, helping find things that are organic for your brand, the Flavor Company helps brands create high-quality products that stand out. If you guys need any more information, if you want to learn how to elevate your edibles, elevate your beverages, visit theflavorco.com. Now, Angela, we've got a really great episode today. A lot of these questions are going to talk a little bit about what inspired you guys to get into it, a little bit of personal story, why edibles, some of these things. And so my first question for you right now is Massachusetts in January. What is the reality of operating a cannabis company in January in Massachusetts? Because people that are in Hawaii or Florida or Cali, we don't got to deal with the same kind of reality as you guys with that weather. So what is that like with y'all out there?
Well, weather can impact you, of course. You know, if it's real snow, obviously things can get shut down. So if you're a store, you're a manufacturer like us. That's not.
Is there snow there yet this year? Have you guys been hit?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're easy. We're trying.
I knocked on wood. I got you.
Some people are getting it, but nothing too major yet across the state. So that does impact you. But the cold, we're tough.
You guys are used to that. I just wasn't sure. I know there was a bunch of weather stuff happening. Obviously, LA, we have what's going on. Atlanta got hit. I just wasn't sure what it was like for y'all at this time of year.
We're blessed right now that things are okay, but we're heading into the touchy times with weather. But we always overcome the snow here.
Now, for you personally, cannabis is there's a pretty large personal tie to you and to your partner Brian, right?
Yes.
And so I would love to learn a little bit about what inspired you guys to get into the cannabis industry and some of the context and maybe life events that pushed you guys in these directions.
Yeah, definitely. So, I guess our story kind of jumps around a little bit. I'll try to break it down. So Brian and I have been partners, life partners it'll be 18 years this year. So we've really grown up together. We met in college, and in college we were very different people in the sense that Brian consumed, smoked weed every day, and I really grew up and just kind of believe the stigma that you learned, right? Okay, I was taught it. I believe it. I went on with life. I didn't really question that aspect. So that was always something you'd say we butt heads about. And it was something I couldn't understand, right? In my head, again, why do you need to consume? Why do you need to be high? And, back then, why do you need to be high to be around me? And he's like, leave me alone. So it probably, now that I'm a consumer, I understand I was probably driving him to consume more. My dad, but it was, it was all the stuff I didn't understand. And that's really kind of prevalent in my story because I didn't understand the benefits, but alongside of him, I am dealing with medical issues. I'm dealing with digestion and sleeping issues, and it's my whole life. But, when you're young and you're going through school and for me, college, you could skip some class. You have a lenient schedule. I graduate. My goal is to climb that corporate ladder, go out there and break that glass ceiling. And I'm dealing with these medical issues and it's not working, right? Like I can't keep functioning with these issues. I go to the doctor, I get prescribed pharmaceuticals. They're not working. I'm feeling, I'm on sleeping pills. I'm young and they're, in my opinion, only having negative impacts on my life. I wasn't sleeping.
Right.
I was dealing with the impacts of pills and your body processing them. And I was on other pills for digestion and it was just
pills dry us out, folks.
Terrible. And no
Pills,
one tells
pills
you
dry
this.
out our insides. They all, every single pill thing says dehydration and leads to other stuff, which are also symptoms of more dehydration. So it's a compounding problem. We're just gonna misconception, folks, myth. Let's debunk it. Pills cause dehydration.
They do, and I think that was the issue. I was so young, I'd never been prescribed to something like, an everyday medicine or something like that, so I had
Mhm.
no idea, and I was just, like, feeling terrible, and alongside Brian is witnessing this and encouraging me to consume, and he's like, "This will help with these 2 problems you're dealing with," and I'm saying, "No, thank you, no, thank you." I go back to the doctor, up the dosage, and it's just compounding. I finally hit my breaking point, and it really was this moment of defeat where I said, "You know what? Okay, you win. I'm gonna try it." And I consumed, and it was magical. It was amazing. It literally
Well,
saved
okay.
my
So
life.
what was that like for you? Because I definitely. I mean, I'm not going to share my story. We can do that off camera because this story's about you. But what was that like for you getting high for the first time? With cannabinoids.
Okay, truthfully, that a little bit of a roller coaster because
Here we go.
I consumed concentrates. I went jumped
Whoa!
That's what Brian was consuming at that time. This was
Wow! Just straight to the
back.
top, dude.
Yeah, but you know what? It kind of worked because one thing that always kept me is I don't love smoke. Like I'm not a campfire girl.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
city girl. If I see smoke, something bad's happening. So I've just never been a fan to be around smoke in general. So that was kind of another thing. I really love concentrates to this day. I'm a daily dabber, you would say. So it's funny. That's what I started with, but it was very small and it was good. It was like amazing because you felt great impact from it. There were some moments of a little overconsumption when I was like, "Oh my gosh, I want this to stop," but you quickly get through that. So, I've lived through all the moments to talk to people about them and let them know you get through some of those touch and go moments when you overconsume, but there's really good on the other end. So it was that and edibles. The
That
edibles were ideal because of sleep was a big thing for me. So that's really the concentrates
yes.
became my way I like to consume, but edibles are my passion.
I so it's funny. My entrance into cannabis was Leafly's first brand ambassador, which is a crazy story, and I got hired as a bartender, back to back interviews, same day, within an hour of each other, for
Oh,
real.
wow.
And as a bartender, we launched a dispensary, all of us medically certified. We were trying to help people, and smoking wasn't always the problem. If you truly listened to people, you would identify that smoking makes certain things worse for people. It wasn't healthy. They didn't like it. The smell, their living conditions, that it didn't allow for it. It just wasn't. It didn't work for people that weren't already smokers to some degree. And so you look at these other products and really start to understand how they're using it in their life, and it's such a situational problem solve thing. It really isn't much more difficult than that. Statistics came out years ago. They came out again pretty recently in the last few years. 70+% of people are using cannabis for sleep. Now, a
Huge,
huge
huge
portion of that
category.
is not using smokables, right?
Exactly,
Or
and especially
inhalable.
those are momentarily. That's why, when you look
Correct.
at what and that is what so as I became, my own guinea pig, my own, I
Yeah,
really
because
just
now you got
tried
to try it. Now you got to try everything to find what works.
exactly, but that was the best part is I feel that that's what propelled us to start this company because once we were finding these things that worked, they didn't exist. And it seemed like at that time, even looking at the West Coast, because that's where more cannabis, we had just legalized here at this point in
Yep.
Massachusetts for medical, and we weren't even open yet. You were not even seeing a lot of brands lean into things like that then. So I got introduced to THCV very early on in my going down the cannabis journey, and that was very exciting. So that was something I always knew
Yeah.
I wanted to bring to the market because I was like, this is magical. But
Where were you introduced to that at? Was that somewhere else, or was that also in Mass?
it was I was in Mass. It was product by way of somewhere else
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
joining me in
But that's interesting
Massachusetts.
too, though, because again, it's like the culture of these other, they're minor cannabinoids, but like THCV, that's a major cannabinoid that's just not called THC or CBD, right? So it's
Exactly.
like that was super popular in these other legacy medical places, but from this adult use, it was such a minute part of it. It had never been prioritized yet. And what I really like about Coast is clearly your product development and from an innovation standpoint was meant to solve problems for people, but you putting a priority into these other cannabinoids really separated you guys from all the other 10 milligram distillate gummies or all the other 10 milligram live resins or rosin, whatever it is. You really own, we want this for this for that, and this for this. Oh, and we make great tasting gummies. So two, boom, here, two, right in your face, eat it.
Exactly. Well, and that was our goal because that's what I mean when I say cannabis saved my life, right? I got to stop taking pharmaceuticals. Who knows
Yeah,
where it'd be on my journey with sleeping pills, especially.
yeah,
This was don't want to date myself, well over a decade ago.
yeah,
So that's kind of one of the things where I look at and say, wow, I'm in such a better spot now because of that. And one thing is that I knew they worked because I got introduced to them firsthand. So that was the best part. So that again would was very discouraging is that people
yeah,
weren't caring about these. So you say if it's not there, build it. I had that
yeah,
motivation. It's kind of that entrepreneurial spirit that Brian and I had always had and connected over in our lives. And we always knew we were going to do something. We knew corporate America wasn't going to be for us. We just didn't know what. And I definitely
yeah,
didn't think it would have been a cannabis company, but people weren't doing it. And patients needed it. We needed
yeah,
it. We needed clean, organic ingredients. We don't need sugar-coated gummies. We don't need another, rinse and repeat recipe with a different brand on it. We need products that work. We need products that people stand by.
yeah.
I wear my t-shirt everywhere. My neighbors know what I do. If they don't enjoy my products, they're going to come tell me. If they don't work, they're going to let
Absolutely.
me know.
I want to be one of the first, the first, at least over here on the West Coast, to champion your guys' sleep gummies as the go-to option if you go to Massachusetts,
Thank you.
locally created. You obviously guys can buy the Wanas and buy the Wilds and buy the Groans, and I don't say it like that to mock those brands. I have massive respect for those brands, but if you care about
Yes.
supporting local and small businesses, which those all started as small businesses too. But if you care about supporting local, where and that local industry, that local market, Angela, Brian, you guys, for me, define are one of the two groups that I think of immediately when I think about edibles in Massachusetts, and that's a testament
Thank
to
you.
use a word that ChatGPT loves to say.
Thank
It's
you.
a testament, right, to
I appreciate
Massachusetts.
that.
Great cannabis, great tasting products. You mentioned a couple of things: organic, low sugar, or very little,
Yeah.
and damn, dude, I slept great off those sleep gummies after I was out there.
Yeah, we actually have a whole sleep suite because again, that's what got me into this. So when we actually launched our CBN product to market back in
Hmm.
2021. May of 2021 when people really were just pushing THC, maybe some CBD
Right?
because I knew because it's what literally got me off sleeping pills was CBN. I knew this was a product that needed to come to market. So
Yeah.
we have our 555 cran palm, which is great. We
That's the
released,
one. That's the
well,
one.
if you want a really deep sleep, we released a 25 CBN to 5 THC called Goodnight Grape. And that has been doing very well. So that's for someone who definitely needed more because you do build a tolerance. But we all
Yeah.
know too much THC at night is not the
Grogginess.
Yes, and
Grogginess,
sometimes a roller
dehydration.
coaster for the night.
Yeah.
So, especially we have a lot of older demographic leaning into our products, so, really needing that extra sleep, not THC, so they're reaching for that product. We released a Blueberry Bliss using CBN and CBC along with THC, of course, so giving you
Wow.
that
That's like, wow. I'm in such a
anti-inflammatory.
pleasant mood. Hmm.
Yeah, it's nice sleep, aches and pains, so speaking of
Yeah.
weather, after a day of shoveling up here, snow, and you're
Yeah, I mean it's
aching,
cold, man. Your bones gotta ache. It's
they
40,
do
it's like
ache.
54 degrees here, which is not even comparable to you guys. And I'm hurting, right? But coming
Yeah,
from Seattle, that's a big improvement. When I you usually only see me out there in like September and March, to be honest. Like,
even March can be dicey with snow, so you
yeah,
might
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
pack a heavy jacket this year.
I love it, man. And I want to show love again with that Cran Palm product, the
Yes,
555. I really want to in the last year a variety of companies that lead edibles across the country leaned in to that ratio specifically. You are an experienced sleeping aid user, an alternative medicine sleeping aid user, the shit that we see at CVS and Walgreens and the stuff that the melatonins and all these different things. I made a CBD product with melatonin. We sold it. I ended up having crazy dreams on it, like inception dreams. And when I mention that to people, I hear about that pretty often, about
Mhm.
that being pretty common because we have melatonin in our bodies already. And now we're creating an imbalance, right?
Exactly.
And there's something to be said about these ratios that you've leaned into, these other cannabinoids that you're also bringing to life. CBC next to CBN. Talk about a panel nobody was expecting to see, right? Like that's great. And so
Nice
I want to,
aches and pains meets sleep.
yeah,
Get that bliss
you know,
when you
my
sleep.
back hurts so bad. That's why I need help sleeping. So when you think
Yes.
about solving situational problems and how to maximize that, that's why I really appreciate your guys' product development and the formulation and how it was inspired by your own needs and
Mhm.
wants for this in life, right? So let's go. Okay, so let's talk about the flavors that you got.
Yes.
What are your top 3 favorite flavors? Ready, go.
Okay, so the Goodnight Grape, it is like a Concord grape,
Okay, you were quick on that
so
one.
delicious, and
Okay.
again, helps me sleep. Our Blueberry Bliss, I have been crushing because it is just a delicious
This is
pop.
the order too. One, two, three.
1, 2, 3. We'll give that 3rd. I gotta give love to our we have a live rosin gummy.
Oh, okay.
It's a smaller line for us. We do our own extraction.
Nice.
Everything is top of the line live rosin going into these gummy
I didn't
products.
know that you guys had a rosin product. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's small. So, it's a small line, but our strawberry guava, oh my
Ooh.
goodness, it is phenomenal. And that was just a flavor I loved as a kid.
Yeah.
So it was really nice when we were doing our suggestion roundtable and we were my staff and I were all throwing out ideas.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my ideas and we got to see it come to life and it's mouth watering. So that would be my order right now.
Okay, and so
Oh,
that's again, you got a variety of gummies. We're talking like the this rosin one is a product line. Then you've got the sleeps. You called it the sweet, right? I think you
we
said.
do have a sleep suite because we have
Yep.
multiple like CBN focused
Okay.
products. We have
Excellent.
chocolate as well.
Okay, cool. So can we do? Well, hold on one sec. Let's stick on the gummy train. I have one more question about that. Making gummies. I just had the Arizona iced tea gummies from a grocery store because I'd never eaten them. It said real fruit juice and stuff, and I was like, this does taste different from these other ones, but it's not really hitting for me. So then and I was thinking about this podcast for today while I'm munching these last night, and I'm thinking, who decides this stuff? What kind of person knows what flavors go with gummies and the sugar and the coloring of things and like there's just now we're talking about it's 2025 like the red 40s and the blue whatever's like there's all these cancer things and like it's so much to consider and I don't know anything about it. So can you talk to me a little bit about the intentionality behind some of those layers that I just kind of touched on where I'm ignorant about all those things?
No, definitely, and rightfully so. I did not come from that background, so we definitely have an amazing team. Shout out to Natalie. She's been on our team since day one,
Let's
leading our
go.
kitchen operations. She's absolutely amazing. In the beginning, it was trial and error. We were figuring it out, perfecting it along the way. We are at a point where we've brought in some professionals, so I did not know, but these people exist. I have learned food scientists all of these cool things over the years that we've connected with that have helped us. But
Wow.
really, I have to applaud my staff because they did this. We all sat down, all the flavors you see that are created, those are either staff or customer recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really
That's awesome.
looking at statistics to say what's selling. We're more like, let's just ask, what do you want to see? And that's what we're making our products on, what customers need ratio wise and what
Yeah.
flavors do they want to have them in.
how,
Listen to
how
the
do you
customers,
communicate
they'll tell
those
you.
things? How do you where do you engage with people at for that? So one, I can selfishly be a part of that, and
Yes.
two, where can your fans, where do they currently do that at? How can more people in mass be a part of that
So actually
program?
that's really exciting because we recently expanded our marketing team even more and that was something we were just talking about was how can we get out to more customers because we have the customers that email us that tell us and
Yeah.
that's we source that. All of our staff are consumers outside of their work, myself included. So we're kind of ourself,
Yeah, you
saying
guys
what
are eating gummies and probably trying a bunch of people's stuff. You guys like food
Oh,
and
of
candy.
course. Yeah, yeah, we have some we definitely, enjoy I think I'm pretty sure everyone on the team consumes. I don't think
Wow.
we have anyone on our team that doesn't consume. So everyone knows what it's like. And I have to stand on that. I feel strongly that to operate a cannabis company, you should be a cannabis consumer. I just don't know how. I came from the tech world before this, and you saw co-founders were so passionate about whatever they were focused on. It could be something like data, or whatever it was,
AI.
customer email engagement. And if you were at a cocktail party, that's all they talked about. If you met them on the side of the road, they were so passionate. In cannabis, somehow you meet these CEOs and these founders, and they are like, "Oh, I don't consume." And you're like, "Huh? What do you mean? Like, what? Then why do you want to be part of this? This
Hmm.
isn't just something that's going to make you money, and you're not. This is wellness. This is a movement. We're literally legalizing cannabis. We have
Yeah.
people sitting in jail. We're legalizing this, and people think that they should not partake, not be the consumer first. So that does
Cannabis is
frustrate
different
me.
for everybody. I am somebody that has been through hypermesis syndrome in various capacities over the years. I will something that's hard for me right now, but as I learn, the more I become a leader in the space, grace and empathy in that, I will practice
Yes,
that myself and try not to do too much black holing, if I would, like going into the rabbit hole of understanding how they're able to be so successful doing that. But as I don't know how to do what y'all do, I am not going to act like I understand what they do, because some
of
people are just
course.
exceptional at businesses. You know what I
They
mean?
are, and it is that. It's just I think
But they
some
are taking up space at this damn table early on right
that's
now if they're not really in the culture. So it's okay if you don't consume, but at
yeah.
least be in the culture and go buy some Coast and give it to
And
your
I think
grandma.
that that's more be part of it and
Be in it.
understand it. And I think
Yeah.
that's more of it. It's the dismissal when
Yes. I
they
hear you.
announce they don't. It's
Yeah.
the bewilderness that you do, and you're like, okay, that's kind of odd. You want to spend all your time
Mhm. Mhm.
around this if it's not something. But
I
I
like
do
I
understand.
like the spice from you right now. I rock with that. Now
No,
I
no, no.
will.
I need to lead with more empathy. Take that back. Sorry, guys. It's Friday. Sorry.
No, man, you good. Like, no, you're in this for a reason, and you just said it. As a CEO and founder, you watch these people be passionate about it. That's what lights you up. I'm with
The
that.
mass
I
market
rock
is
with
in a
that.
tough spot.
Yes,
Specifically,
yes,
we're fortunate. We are a growing brand, as you announced. We launched, officially on the shelves in Connecticut today, our third market, and we're very blessed. But we are seeing some people we really look up to, are ready to close their doors and are struggling, and they're
yeah,
small and they're local and they deserve a seat at the table, and there's just not enough to go around. And that's really the
yeah.
hard part, I think, is that there is a limit. There is only so much
There are not going to be a
consumers
random
out there.
million more consumers showing up anytime soon in the Massachusetts market out of nowhere. The data is
No,
the data.
and
Stuff.
that's
Yeah.
exactly it. Yep, and we just need to now do better at educating, and that's actually a big focus for us is getting out more now
Hmm.
into we've been kind of referring to them as cannabis adjacent events. Let's
Yeah.
go to places like we went down and sponsored at an amazing music festival on the Cape that had some great acts. And I had a lot of people who were fans of cannabis, and we got to talk to them about our
Yeah.
brand. And a lot of them were familiar with our brand, or if they weren't, they were going to check it out because of what they were hearing, they liked, and all of that. And that's what we got to do because there are more consumers. A million, maybe over time, but
Over time for sure, but again, in mass, the tourism is tracked, the sports leagues are tracked. I mean, again, you can look at where the consumers are at, and what you're doing, cannabis adjacent. That is where that million is at.
yes,
It's up to the brands to go to the tailgates, to go to the
exactly.
TD Garden, to go to the Red Sox. The way that Nudia does it in the streets, the way that other groups do it for basketball things, or the way that other groups are throwing these Super Bowl parties. Like there is
Mhm.
a way to do that, and there's a way to do it and actually not have anything to do with cannabis, to just go be a part of something else, right?
Exactly. Just
Like
normalize it. Show them
yes,
we showed
just
up
show
at
up.
well, not showed up. We popped sponsored.
Of course,
It was a 5K for migraines.
it's amazing.
Cannabis is great for migraines.
Yeah.
Not for everyone, right? But it's also a product, and we set up there. It was all pharmaceutical companies and then us. It was kind of funny. And people were excited, people, and the other
Yes.
thing is people got to talk to us in their natural element. They came
Mm-hmm.
to be at a 5K to run or watch or sponsor whatever. Hey, let me take a moment to ask you those burning questions I have
Did you
that I'm
sample
not
them the
comfortable walking in
non-infused?
the dispensary.
Did you sample them the non-infused?
Non-infused, of course. Gotta do
They were
non-infused. I mean,
so excited, I
great,
bet.
great ingredients, right? So they're great
Wow.
non-infused and infused.
I'm so excited for y'all. That's cool because I know how excited I would be if I was running at the turkey trot, and like stop that. Like that's amazing.
That's
That's
what our
so
hope
cool.
is, to keep being out there and just keep letting people know too that cannabis is an option,
Hmm.
and not enough people are talking about it in that sense, and letting them know that it is something that they should look for. And that has been my hope when this was just a dream. I had comments like, I want to help people replace pharmaceuticals in their life, because
Yeah,
that's what I did with cannabis. And it's not possible for all, but I think it's possible for some. And I know some, I know others who have, and it's just another product that we can reach for. Especially, I feel that my generation is the generation of drinking. We
yeah,
went to college, we're heavy drinkers.
same.
The FDA think they're making some moves right now, and talking about putting the cancer warning on alcohol. And I just hope that that is something that people listen to, because it is really bad. And I am guilty. I do drink, but I'm trying, and I've been over the years definitely increasing my cannabis consumption and decreasing my alcohol consumption. And I feel that there's a lot of consumers in America that are starting to do that, and I'm really, really excited to
Yeah,
see how far beyond dry January, these statistic numbers are going to keep going, with people
of
opting
course.
for more cannabis and less alcohol.
Of course, of course. I wanted to pop into a section that's powered by the flavor company. I feel like now that we're
Yes.
we're roughly about halfway through the episode, now's a good time to talk a little bit more about the various products that you have across the different, the chocolates. We've already done a little bit on the gummies, and then you also have vapes as well. So I wanted to dive into a whole section dedicated to flavor. This is the Flavor Forward podcast. So, folks, I really appreciate you guys. Before we dive any further, again, this episode is powered by the Flavor Company, theflavorco.com, a leading expert in creating cannabis infused edibles and beverages. If you guys want custom formulations, flavor matching, ingredient sourcing, these guys help you guys be able to craft and find those ingredients, put it all together to make a product that really stands out. And so I encourage you guys to reach out to the Flavor Company, theflavorco.com. Now, for you guys, in terms of flavor, you talked a little bit about how you engage with the customer and get that feedback, but can you help us understand why you picked the flavors that you did at the beginning? Because I want to go all the
Yeah,
way back because Coast, people look at y'all like you're the OGs. Y'all been around for a few
we've
years
been
now, right?
around. Yeah, we're going to be 5 years in
Yeah.
market. So
So
this
how did you pick
June.
the flavors? What went into
So
those?
the original flavors, again, going back to, came from the first 5 employees we had,
Okay.
Brian and myself, sitting around a table. And it started with first things like, what do we like? What do we want to see? Selfishly, the s'mores chocolate bar I
Oh,
love everything s'mores. So I was like, please, let's do s'mores. So that
I'll take a
we had a
s'mores
white
gummy. I'll take a s'mores gummy.
we put all these flavors up, every idea people had, shout them out, and
The
then we
vision
went
board. The vision
the
board.
vision board, and then we went, into the kitchen, made them. Some were not great, and then others, were awesome, and we brought them to market. So you have your classics, your dark chocolate sea salt. Who
Okay.
doesn't want that? And then you had your more adventurous, like our almond coconut sea salt,
Oh, I
milk
love that one. I love that one. I like
chocolate.
almond joy, so that one's delicious for me.
Exactly, exactly. And then, of course, the white chocolate, we really threw people for a loop, because people dog on white chocolate, and they're used to, kind of, I always say, that bad Easter bunny.
It's just the Hershey's cookies and cream one. It's the only one people think of, and that's not a quality
It's
one, respectfully.
No, it's not. And that was actually the biggest thing with using all organic and all natural products. No, our all of our milk chocolate's a single origin, our dark is a double origin.
Are you
Obviously,
willing
white
to share
chocolate.
like what region it comes from or anything like that? You don't have to say
Yes.
like
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
country.
So our white chocolate is a single origin. Our white chocolate. My gosh, that's where my head was going, because of our cookies and cream bar.
Yeah,
Our
yeah, yeah.
milk chocolate is a single origin from Peru, and
Oh,
our dark
cool.
chocolate is a double origin. It comes from that farm in Peru and a farm in the Dominican. It's blended.
Wow.
We use a 60% cacao, so much more middle of the road dark, with some really nice
Mm-hmm.
um, fruity notes. And that's actually how we launched our dark chocolate raspberry bar originally.
Yes, yes,
We were
yes.
eating the dark chocolate. We're like, ooh, this is like got this nice fruity finish. It'd be a
Mm-hmm.
delicious
Like
raspberry.
a bitter tanginess to it.
Yes, yes, yep. So then that really is what lent itself. And then some of our other things did have thoughts. For instance, when we launched our tangerine CBG gummy,
Yes.
we thought the idea with CBG is great for an everyday. It's a nice balanced, euphoric feeling. It's also great for gut health. So I always call it the probiotic of the cannabinoids. So we always thought, your morning OJ. How about a
Yeah.
tangerine flavor? That was our
I love
mindset.
that. I love
And
that.
then the cran palm came because sleep, and so many people reach for red wine.
Yeah.
Well, let's make it delicious. And we are in the cranberry capital of Massachusetts in Wareham on
Oh,
Cranberry Highway.
I didn't know
So we
that.
had
That's
to
pretty
pay
cool.
homage to our cranberries.
Wow, I didn't know that was the cranberry capital. That's crazy.
Well, I at one time I do believe, unfortunately, like farming, we've lost some of them, but there still are some beautiful ones you get to drive by
That's
on my way
amazing.
to
That's
work
that local culture stuff we talking about right now. RMR exclusive. Get your history lesson and get your geography game up, folks. Come on, man. We got Angela Brown in the building.
Let's go.
Coast Cannabis filling us in on all these important things about
I'm
Massachusetts.
like a
The product.
Snapple fact.
Not a bad idea for inside something.
There we go.
Massachusetts
Massachusetts
Coast
fact.
Cannabis facts. Let's go. Now, okay, so the chocolates, dark chocolate. There's a lineup there, right?
Yep.
Then you have the milk chocolate. There's a lineup. Is there anything outside of the cookies and cream?
And then we actually, yeah, in our white chocolate we've had a few. We've changed them up a little bit. We had a berries and cream, and
Ooh,
then we actually switched that up to be a milk chocolate and strawberry now. So it's like
okay.
chocolate covered strawberry
Yeah.
that we
Oh
released
God,
as
you
a
guys are making
limited.
this fun. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a limited edition that will be out for the Valentine's Day. And then we had a birthday cake bar, which was really fun. We did have to retire that one though because
I
we're
gotta show
really
this guy's
committed.
comment. This is a great one.
I know, I know. I want Rod to come. Please come visit us, Rod. But that's one thing is actually we use these sprinkles. So it was a birthday cake bar, and our
Yeah,
commitment is all organic, all natural.
yeah.
So these
You have to
sprinkles
make
were
the sprinkles.
they don't make them anymore. They were awesome. They were actually like or not the sprinkles are made. It's the cookies that we had that got discontinued and we haven't been able to replicate them. But the sprinkles were really cool because they were dyed using only natural ingredients like turmeric
Oh
and beetroot,
wow,
nothing artificial, and we really stayed away from that.
that's
But again, that's kind of the hurdle with this commitment to organic and all natural. And with COVID, we were using a lot of smaller, more, again, organic brands, stuff like that. A lot of them had some serious disruptions during
yeah.
COVID. So we had to,
Their disruption equals your supply chain disruption, folks. That is not an easy thing to handle. COVID was not easy. Just changing after COVID to a new reality is not easy. Just change at scale, not
exactly.
easy. Wow.
Exactly. But to refresh the chocolate category, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention because we just launched them. We're bringing chocolate squares. So because our chocolate's so good, we are very confident on that one. People would say, I can only take one serving, 5 milligrams, which was a triangle. I want more chocolate. And if I eat too much chocolate, it's not going to be good. So we made these chocolate squares you could think of like a Ghirardelli, and they're
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
individually
yeah.
wrapped. So they're big. They're 5 milligrams. So you get a good amount of chocolate. Five
You
milligrams.
made
So
some candy. Let's
you can
go.
have a few or you can have one. And that we just released, and we have some fun flavors that we've never put out before, like a milk chocolate crunch. And it's really awesome because it's gluten-free. We use organic puffed quinoa. So it's actually
Wow.
gluten-free so people can
Yes.
have that bar,
That's
that
incredible.
that square. And then our limited edition, gingerbread latte, which pairs our Peruvian organic chocolate with a Peruvian coffee. And then, a gluten-free, ginger snap. So again, another way, like,
Wow. And
don't always get that.
you guys are just getting started because, and I don't say this to be rude, but I feel like the seasonal one and even that last one, that's you guys getting creative with it and kind of going a direction. I'm sure your lineup that you really got for those, that's got to be crazy because Ghirardelli and those other brands that kind of operate in those spaces, right? I'm thinking, what's the beautiful one? It's like a ball and it's beautiful.
The Lindt chocolate.
Glint, those are, I mean, it's square, circle, it don't make a difference. It's the vehicle, right? And
It's
so But
There's
like
so many
those,
ways.
so phenomenal in the flavor. The Ghirardelli one's so phenomenal in the flavor. Now Coast with the
Yes.
strawberries.
Well, that's what we really want, and that's I mean, there is a fine line you do have to walk between creating functional products. You know,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, this is plant medicine. So, especially when it comes to our gummies, when we're putting such high ratios into them, I won't lie. Yes, there can be a touch of bitterness, and we choose to not sugarcoat them because, again, we don't think people need or want more
yeah,
sugar in their gummies.
yeah,
Um, but that again is the fine line that we're continuing to tweak. And as you know, we go full circle, working with companies like the Flavor Company, focus on having those organic ingredients for us. We can continue perfecting our recipes
yeah.
and getting people products that actually work. Because at the end of the day, that's what I feel the biggest thing is. We need to be only putting out products that work. That's all consumers deserve.
You were talking pretty spicy earlier about the need to consume. Let's go ahead and look in the
Should
mirror real quick.
consume. Can I take that back? Can
No,
we
you
do it
chilling, bro,
for
because
Jack?
this is
I
this is not
apologize.
about them or whatever. It's about y'all. And so we here to highlight you guys. Those are people. We got a question. Does Angela smoke flower? I want to convert that. She already talked about the flower thing at the beginning.
I don't smoke a lot of flower. Listen, I won't pass up
No,
if
you're
I'm in a
chilling.
circle.
I feel like I've smoked joints with you before. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah, oh
saying.
yeah, definitely. But I'd say my go-to is smoking concentrates and edibles.
So R&D wise,
Mhm.
we love R&D, right? Research and development. A lot of research, and then the fun part, the development, right?
Very
Trying the
cool.
product, testing the bitterness, testing and seeing if this amount of cannabinoid is effective for this, or if I want this desired effect, the efficacy on that. Talk to me a little bit about the balance between flavor, efficacy, and the R&D process, and how you guys created such a consistent and effective quality product.
It was just that. It was the R&D. There was a few things, obviously. The R&D is the biggest thing. It's keep going into perfecting it, perfecting it. The other thing too is, who are your resources to help you with developing that? So you are leaning on
Those
companies like
those
Flower
experts and those
Co.
scientists that you were talking about again.
Exactly. You're leaning on companies like the Flavor Company to help you develop these flavors, bring them to market. So the biggest thing for us was just continuing to do our research through the time we had, work very diligently with our staff on how to create these products.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing. And then reaching out to, the external third parties when we
Mhm.
needed that extra help and stuff to
Yeah.
bring it home. But a lot of it was the passion. I mean, it just drives you. Like when stuff needs to get done and you have to figure it out, your back's against the wall. That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah. At some
And
point,
that's
you got to bet
exactly
on
what
it.
we
You got to make a decision and bet and
you
work.
do, and that was the biggest thing. I will say that was the scariest moment is, like, when the products first left our 4 walls because they pass there's only so many tests you can do. You also can't consume your finished because of regulations not to bore the audience, you can't consume it till it leaves, blah, blah, blah. They don't make it easy for you. So
Yeah.
there was this moment of, will people like it? Will they buy it?
Yeah.
And we're blessed to say 5 years this year in market and customers are buying it and we're committed to continuously perfecting it and expanding our product offering.
Let's go. Product offering expansion. I mean, like, I just popped on the website, handcrafted lemon lime live rosin gummy, strawberry guava, the flavor you mentioned earlier,
Yes.
tropical punch, another flavor. You've got the chocolates that you mentioned. You've talked about a couple of your favorite flavors, ethically and fair trade sourced, all natural organic ingredients, no artificial colors or flavors. We're talking about a lot of R&D to get
Yeah,
all of those things checked off, man.
there was. There was. I mean,
A lot
there
of
were years.
flavors, and all of them are great. Like,
Thank
because
you.
that's the expectation.
It is. That is, and it's over time too.
Yeah,
We didn't come out of the gate with all of these. We really took our time because that I think is another thing you do see a lot of
too
some of
much
like
at
the
once.
vertically integrated groups do. Yeah, they kind
Yeah,
of like land and splatter a lot of brands and they're not exactly I think honing in and that was our biggest thing. It's like building
yeah.
blocks. And then, we really just kind of um keep building what's not there, what
Hmm.
people deserve and want to
I'll
see.
never forget my first time eating your guys' products. It was at the Boston Cannabis Week Park under the bridge.
Oh, that was a good
There in
year.
the
That
cold
was
and damp
yes.
and fog. That was my introduction to you guys. and trying all the, like, at that time, all the different products and flavors in non-infused form at that time, and getting blessed with, I think, one or two bars back then. And like, again, coming from Washington, coming from Oregon, being mentored by people from Colorado, living in California, traveling to so many places before I was ever in Massachusetts, I was just really impressed at the consistency, the branding, the execution, the humans. Y'all are mad friendly and cool.
Yeah.
And then as we spent more time, it's just been like, yeah, it's like, not to say your back's always against the wall, whether it's financially or the with the reality of the weather or the environment, or the market crashing, whatever it is. You guys just got this natural hustle and chip on your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? To just make it happen.
We're
And
told we can't
I
a
rock
lot,
with it.
and I hope people, even growing up, I had a more of an adverse background. You know, my mom was a single mom. There wasn't a lot of resources. I defied a lot of odds and, set out on my own path. So there's always been that natural hustle, and same with Brian. And then I think us joining forces, we became quite a wrecking ball. But
Yeah.
we also got told we can't, when we set out to create this, we were told we can't by so many people in the cannabis industry. And there's
Crazy.
still people you see today, at trade shows. They're the people who tell you you can't do without me. Now give me 6 figures. I'll get you a license. You can't do without me. You need this. And especially in the beginning when we were going out for fundraising in 2017, a lot of people were hyper focused on vertical integration. And we were like, hey, that's great, but that's not what we're trying to do. We
Yeah,
feel,
we have enough money to buy all these assets. We're set. We're good. We'll be okay
yeah,
long term. And it was like, nah,
no,
rug
and you
pull.
have to do it all. That
Yeah,
no one's good at everything. And
yeah,
in no other industry do you do it all. So we were like, brand focus. Everyone needs to focus. This is why the consumers don't have what we need. This is why we're here. We're just
right,
upset, disgruntled consumers who
right.
said, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. And that's how we got there. So it was really, taking that and moving that forward and keeping that mindset going. But people would say, how you're never going to succeed. And I would say, look west. Brands are emerging. Like people were
Still.
so heads in the sand about vertical integration, seed to sale. That's not it. Let the cultivators grow bomb weed. Let the manufacturers and the brand experts build some awesome consumer focused brands, and let these retailers get the customers in, create the environment, move their products. But I
Yep.
really think we need to be more of a symbiotic industry versus a seed to sale
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Symbiotic industry. Focus on what you're good at. I think as a good transition point to your team. You talked a lot
Yes.
about, or you've mentioned and showed love and given respect to the original squad, right? You've been around 5 years. It's grown, a variety of experts and partners now. You know, when it comes to you guys using these right ingredients and picking the right flavors, and again, checking off these boxes that you require to deliver the products you want to make. Who are some of the most vital team members on the squad, so we can give them some light?
Oh man. Well, I
Obviously,
really
there's a
should
long
announce.
list,
I
but
know. I really should announce all of them, but
you can if you
to
want. I
say
mean, we got the time.
we have 30 two amazing staff members. But our again, we had some amazing OGs. So Natalie and Sarah Fred, who are in our kitchen. They're obviously rocking out the products. Our lab, we have Tyler and Kyle that are absolutely killing it. We are a
Hell yeah,
small but mighty team.
let's go.
We have, yeah, and then packaging, we've had Nick with us day one, getting every delivery
You
we've ever
you
sent.
said lab, not kitchen, and then earlier you mentioned you do
Oh,
your own rosin.
we have kitchen, and we have lab, meaning like our extraction lab.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So that's your extraction squad or what?
Yeah, so yeah, we got two guys holding it down there that are
So all
absolutely.
your own edibles, or is that all your own oil?
Yep. I mean,
Whoa!
of course, not gonna lie, someone could say I've sold them distillate. Yes, we have definitely purchased if we needed or we
Yeah.
bought, but no, yeah, we actually do. We have a lab, so we do create some distillate oil,
Wow.
and we have our live rosin lab.
That
So we're
is so
pressing
crazy.
some
Wow,
really bomb shit.
you guys are really owning that whole, like, and with that lab and your team, they can start to manipulate the cannabinoids that are residually left in these oils and in these extracts. for the different product types. How cool is that? Wow.
Yeah, we've been doing our own extraction and delivery since day one. So in Mass, a lot of people use third parties and stuff, but
Hmm.
we really feel it's important to control as much as we can in that sense and create that experience because we're creating a consumer product, yes. But when our team shows up for deliveries, we want intake to be excited. Like, yo, Coast is here. You know, these are some awesome people. We know it's going to be right because
Yeah, of
this is
course.
cannabis and it's fun, but it's compliance. And we want to make sure all of our partners always know we are going to be compliant. Everything we put out is going to be consumer focused, but of course, you know, compliant and ready for them to sell.
All right. We've gone over a lot of nitty gritty details.
Cheers.
Cheers. We've gone over a smoke break. We're in the final 10, 15 minutes or so. I appreciate you. Are you ready for more of a rapid fire situation?
I'm ready.
All right. I love it. All right. Here we go. Big smoke. Okay, folks. The Flavor Company rapid fire segment for this episode. I hope you all are ready. In terms of staying in the ingredient lane, what is the craziest flavor that you've made product wise that never made it to the market?
Oh no. Well, I wouldn't say crazy. I would say it just didn't work. We
Okay.
tried to bring something chocolate banana. We were really, really trying, and it was just not. It was not working
I'll
out.
take a banana chip with chocolate dipped around it. I'll just
That's
take a
yeah,
bag
we
of
were
those.
trying to make that work, but we'll keep it up. But that one comes to mind just because that was my one of my I love
Yes.
chocolate and banana,
That and
and I
peanut
wanted
butter
that
is
so bad.
Okay. I love that one. I love that one. The next question is kind of piggybacking on that in a slightly different direction. Are there any unexpected ingredients? Maybe it's that CBC or this 25 milligram CBN or another episode we had a gentleman that or that nanoed or encapsulated, I believe is the terminology, two of the cannabinoids, but left the other one
Oh wow.
not. So that way it was more of a delayed release, like natural.
Mm.
So what would be an unexpected ingredient, maybe a cannabinoid or one of those situations that you would like to highlight in this instance?
I mean, I really have to highlight our CBN because it's just so near and dear to my heart. And again, I think sleep, when you
I'm
see
with it.
the number of Americans that struggle with sleep and the number of people who are reaching for anything, whether it be melatonin all the way to
Yep.
pharmaceutical or
I think
alcohol.
magnesium is the other thing I hear people use.
Magnesium, and I was actually recently taking magnesium and I learned the hard way that like melatonin, it can have some negative impacts, and that's really
Interesting.
why for right now we've stayed away from pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals in our products. You know, we've really said like we're fighting to legalize. Let's use the plant.
Right,
Let's
right,
use
right.
what we fought for. Let's use what we're fighting for. Why bring you know, magnesium gummy to market? I could do that without going through all of this headache of being a cannabis company. So that's something we always just look kind of towards the cannabinoids
Mm-hmm.
to make those recipes. So I got to give the shout out to CBN. So I'd say my grape or any of them, but I love the grape. 25 meg CBN, 5 mil.
CBN from Coast in the house, getting extra, 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 extra love. I love it. I rock with that. I use it. I got some gummies here at the house right now. I already championed the products earlier. I'm like,
Yes,
I
thank you.
actually get anxious when I don't have sleep gummies. It's kind of frustrating. I sleep so great when I use certain ones, and the ones I use that perform the best never have 10 milligrams of THC. They always have five, or it's 555s or 5525, like you said, or something
Yep.
along those effects. So I love that idea. 2024, 23, 22, big years in CPG for collaborations. 2025, do you guys have any collaborations, whether it be oils or brands or ingredients, maybe a local food company or a Colombian farm or something? Talk a little bit about collaborations.
Yes, so collaboration is super important. I wish I could announce. Unfortunately, I can't announce yet, but we're definitely working on some really
We'll bring
fun.
you back. We'll bring you back on.
Yeah, please do. We're definitely working on some really fun stuff. But that's been something we've actually always wanted from the beginning. And when, you know, the early days we reached out and to some of the people who are outside of cannabis, like the normal CPG, they were hesitant, but they're
Mm-hmm.
coming around now, which is really exciting. So we're
Yeah.
definitely targeting a
It's
few.
weird how the culture of cannabis, the stigma, a human can use it, but the business is uncomfortable with it, even
Yeah.
though the human is in the meeting high at work in that business. Like,
It doesn't make any sense to me. You meet
but I
so
get
many
it.
people, and I guess just to think that there could be backlash, but
Yeah,
I guess I have blinders on similar to others.
yeah.
I see the
We're
world going,
powering through it.
yeah, and it's cannabis. Like,
Yeah.
no, they'll look the other way, but that's not always the case.
All right. I've got a couple questions that are a little bit creative and funky, so I hope you're ready. If Coast Edibles were going to throw a music concert or an event like the Coast Cannabis Festival, right? Like, and you had your edibles there, you had your vapes there. What would the genre of music be, and who would your headliner be? Like,
Oh,
what would be the music there for the day? But and then who would your headliner be?
okay. So this is tough because I think there's who I would want, and then maybe my brand. So we're similar but different,
That's
right?
okay.
So
That's perfect. This is great. This is exactly why we wanted to hear it. People want to
I
know
think
you and the brand.
if it was me, it would definitely be dance music. And I would say a headliner for that festival would probably be Gorgon City. I
I
absolutely love
love
that.
that's deep house, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, give me all of that.
Mm-hmm.
If it was, more for the brand, they would still be there, but
Yep.
I think we would have to bring in, oh my gosh, I think it'd be a little bit more of a yacht rock type
Okay.
mix. I think, our demographic is they run the gamut on age, but I think it's people who are all like looking for that nice wellness, so some good vibes, some blankets in the grass. If we could bring back Jimmy Buffett, RIP, I think he might have to be a headliner for us.
Okay.
We are Coast after all, based off Cape Cod, so we have to
Right.
pay homage to him.
I love that. Okay, so this maybe and this might be a bad question off of that, but maybe you have a different answer. If you were going to collab with any celebrity, right? And we could do music if you'd like. You can you can hit me with the music celebrity, but I would like two answers if you're going to say music, because there's the athletes, there's music, movies, film, all that kind of stuff, right? TV, and then there's music. So if you could pick two celebrities that would be like the dream celebrities to collab with, who would it be? And right off the top, what product would you do with them?
Oh man, this is really tough. Like, while
Yeah.
you're asking that, I was like, every celebrity I thought of, I was like, wait, nope, Scandal. Oh gosh, Giselle Bundchen. It's kind of funny. I gotta be honest, I haven't been keeping up. Who would it be? Oh man, I don't know if I can answer that one right now. I would have to really give that some sincere thought.
Okay. I got one just to be interesting.
Please.
Not exactly a celebrity, but now kind of a celebrity in her own way. The woman who designs the jackets for Taylor Swift, those custom fashion pieces for the Chiefs that she cut up,
Ooh,
now she got hired for the NFL. I'm thinking Fanatics for a bunch of stuff.
hell
That
yeah.
that human would be for me a super creative, cool one, only because she just looks at athletes and brands and these things and just the creative is there, you know what I mean? So I love that one. And then when I think of music for you guys, and then we'll do sports too, sports for y'all, like I don't know anybody from mass from like or like a celebrity thing, so I always go like the local ones is my natural thinking for collabs. But like sports, like man, y'all got to go with like Larry Bird. Y'all got to like
Well,
we
yeah.
gotta go like OG with it
I
a
don't know.
little
We
bit.
might have to give it to our boy Drake May. He could
Oh
make
yeah, yeah.
waves.
The current,
He's changing
the
the
young
game.
gun right now, right, right. I like that. Okay, so let's have that one. That's gonna be my OG dem, right? Larry Bird, and then we gonna hit it with Drake May, right? And then if you had to pick someone on the Celtics, who would it be?
Oh, Jason Tatum.
Oh,
I love Jason Tatum. I love the Celtics. So,
I'm with
yeah,
that. I
that
love it.
would
I
be so
love that.
great. And you know what's really cool is he is focused, not to give him a shout out, but he is actually has a gummy, non-cannabis. He has a gummy and they use, all organic,
Yep.
all natural. So I feel we have a likeness. So Jason Tatum, if you're listening and you want to do a collab, go homie. I'm down the street.
Homie down the street. That's hilarious. Okay. Anything that you'd like to share with the fans? Anything that you can share? Anything that you'd like to tell people about you have coming up? The floor is yours.
Yeah, just exciting stuff, launching, obviously bringing more products to the market, keep expanding our portfolio with minor cannabinoids that really work. Keep expanding down the East Coast. We will be launching later this year also in Maryland and New Jersey. So
Amazing.
we're excited to keep the expansion going. We're excited to hopefully get to that level to throw a house. He said more house music. Kyle, I hear you. Throw a music festival would be nice. That's some big stuff we're working on is, like I said, going to more of those cannabis adjacent markets, getting ourselves out there, talking to more customers. We're going to drive them to the stores. We're going to drive them to where they can get Coast, because we know those
Amazing.
more customers exist. We just know there's just, we got to keep working at that stigma. We're
Yep.
all there, but unfortunately there's too many people that aren't there yet. So we got to go out, we got to embrace them and hug them in their natural habitat and walk them slowly into a dispensary and say, let me introduce you to cannabis and how it's going to help you.
Oh, another one would be like any old golfer. I feel like,
Any old golfer, of course. Some
any one of those old,
Arnold
like,
Palmer himself,
yeah, that
little
kind of
half
stuff.
and
That's
half
a great
gummy.
one, man. A little Tiger Woods action. You know what I'm saying? Like all that world. Like when again, Coast, you guys, your brand is on point. The products are spectacular. Your guys' cannabinoids and the way that you've developed products that solve problems versus just get people high. Getting people high is one problem to solve. That's okay to do. Nothing wrong
And
with
we
that.
do have products for that. We
Exactly.
have some
You
THC
have,
focus,
yep,
with some CBD. We have those.
yep.
But we also have products that can help you fight the common ailments we're all dealing with, that we're
Mhm.
sometimes reaching for other products for, that are not fully satisfying our needs. Coast is there to help you.
I just realized we didn't touch base at all about your vapes. You want to mention that at all? You want to quick wrap that up in a quick, like a minute
In
or two?
Massachusetts, we make distillate and we make our solventless rosin vapes. Again,
Nice.
we're making all of that in house. It's
Cool.
more of a passion project, Brian and I say, because
Because you
that's
guys
all
want to vape your
we do.
own rosin.
100%. I'll be honest, some of the stuff in these vapes out here is scary, and when people offer them to me, I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
I have my own,
I hear
um,
you.
and that's a real big thing. So we only have those in Massachusetts. We do everything with care. As I said, we have an awesome lab team. So yeah, please, if you see our vapes in market, check them out. I promise you won't be disappointed. They are high quality, just like our edibles. Again, I'm consuming it. That's our motto. Nothing leaves our building unless myself, Brian, and everyone on our team has tried it, and we
Let's
stand
go.
by it.
Straight from the
100%.
co-founder herself as she rips the rosin terps to prove it. Is that a pink tip I saw on that too?
Oh, there
Is that
might
just
be some
white?
of my lipstick on
Okay,
there.
I was like, wait a second, are they really going in hard on this? I was
No,
like,
no, no.
oh, okay, let's
We're working
go.
2.0, 2.0. We'll
Come
see.
on. I love it. I've always told people to match their vapes a little bit more with fashion. And so I don't know, maybe I did some high and it got inspired by that and I was so jazzed. But either
I
way,
love it.
folks,
No, we got to do it. It's an accessory now. You
come on,
deserve
man. You guys heard it here, folks. What a wonderful episode. The fourth official one podcast, the Flavor Co. The Flavor Forward podcast. We today had Angela Brown of Coast Cannabis, Massachusetts, Maryland, Rhode Island, Connecticut. And what was the fifth one you just said?
it.
New
New
Jersey.
Jersey, coming
Yep,
soon.
coming
Coming soon.
soon. So be sure to tap in. If you're on the East Coast, these guys create wonderful products. Give it a shot. Ask about it. You can visit Coast Cannabis Co. That's COAST, Cannabis, CANNABISCO.com to learn more, to shop, to get things, to read, to buy merch. I just encourage you guys to support. And of course, folks, this episode was brought to you guys by The Flavor Co., your partner in delivering exceptional cannabis infused products, beverages, edibles, manufacturing, flavor matching, you name it. Theflavorco.com is the place to go. Angela, thank you again for rocking with us on this episode. Do you have anything you'd like to leave the people with before we get out of here?
A big thank you, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Smoke up.
Smoke up, folks. Go get your edibles for the weekend. Sleep good. Rest up.